So we've set up a publisher, we've set up an advertiser, and now it comes down to the order management aspect of the system. This is really where the magic happens. This is where the inbound traffic can be seen through the traffic flow, and the outbound traffic can be seen as received. So you have the amounts ordered, you have how much has been delivered. Again, daily cap is a function that allows you to set an order to receive only so many clicks each day. This may not seem like a very useful thing immediately, but again, when you're managing lots of orders and you have a large client versus a small client, this is very useful because you can limit how much the large client receives relative to how much the smaller client receives. Another way to control that is through importance. So fill rate is just a percentage showing you how much in percentage form has been completed. Again, clicks, if the page has the pixelation, which was covered in the advertiser section of ClickFlow, both of these values will appear. So when someone opts in, boom, it immediately shows. If someone has a sale, boom, it marks it. This is a real easy way. If you want to preview an order, you can preview what the person has. Now, it's not displaying anything here currently, and that's really important to note. When you're previewing a URL, you have the option to start or close the window. If you click start, it'll place it in this section. Kind of doesn't make sense because they're already active, but for pending, you can do just the same thing. You can preview it and start it from this. Now, if nothing appears, it may be the page, but it's really just safest to close it and open up the actual link. If you copy and paste what's given into here into a new URL and it loads, you're good. So you have active, paused, pending, and filled. So for an order, you also have the ID. So while advertisers have an ID, you can even track things by each campaign, which makes it really useful. Now the last thing I haven't covered on this page is this little guy. So what does this do? This says put an order on a global redirect list. Sounds kind of technical, but honestly it just means something very simple. If you click this button here and it becomes highlighted, meaning it's active, then anytime traffic has no place else to go, either because all other orders have been fulfilled or because maybe the daily caps for the orders have been reached and traffic is, in a sense, overflowing. This is a really useful way to redirect all traffic to a single link. So for instance, if you have traffic on automated, meaning it's coming in and you can't stop it, this allows anything that's sent over what already has been ordered to be directed to any link. So this is great so you don't waste any clicks. If you set up your own campaigns within this system, which I would highly recommend, this is the best thing to do. Set all your campaigns as the global redirect. That way, if any excess is available, it will not be wasted. So you will never lose a click. Pretty great. So let's keep on moving. So an order profile, what does it look like and what are all the filters? Well, there's a lot. Let's start with the general. So again, if you have traffic or orders for multiple offers, you can set up in the sites area, which we'll cover in a bit, each offer or company that an order is derived from. So you may have one offer that comes from one company and another offer that comes from another company. The reason this is important is because of tracking and managing orders. So you want to make sure that any offer or campaign that you have is tied to a site. Again, you can manage the advertisers here. You can easily switch them. The URL, the order type, whether by clicks, opt-ins, or conversions. The amount ordered can be changed at any time. You can set the daily cap to anything you want. Importance, this is very important, no pun intended, for managing priority or prioritizing orders, right? So again, back to the example of clientele. You have a really big client, you need to make sure they receive a certain amount of clicks per day. Let's say the big client is for 10,000 clicks. You want to give this person, let's say, at least 1,000 clicks per day. Now, if other orders or clients have a higher priority than one, this larger client will never reach this daily cap. So what you want to do with larger orders or larger clients is simply bump this up to a higher number. Now, I will caution you, the number does not matter. So if you put 100, it will be just as the same as if you put 2, because 2 is above 1 and so is 100. Usually I recommend working on a scale of 1 to 10, just makes things easy. 10 being the most important and 1 being the least important. But again, you can set this to really any value. Redirect method, this gets into the more technical aspects of how traffic is managed once it receives or hits a landing page. So redirect is an option to have traffic redirected to any place, whether by HTML, JavaScript, or both. Pixel lets you set the option of determining whether or not the pixel has been placed, which again is important for the publisher section. So if you're wanting traffic from one source to only go to advertisers that have pixel or tracking in place, this is how you set that criteria. Exit pop, which I'm sure you're familiar with, is great for traffic. If you're trying to really keep leads, even if they click off a page, this allows you to set that up very easily. And the last thing is order or category for a network. So if you have an offer and it's tied to a category for a company, you can easily set those up here. Now let's go to platforms. So let's say you only want this order to receive mobile traffic. You can simply, with the click of a button, set it to that field. This means that this order will only receive traffic from mobile phones. Just as easily, you can set it to only desktop users. Pretty cool, huh? So let's leave it to all. Another filter is countries. There are countries virtually for every city and state. We've placed the English speaking at the top for ease. And this allows you to have an order receive only traffic from the US. Really nice when you're trying to upsell people on high quality traffic, right? A lot of people in this industry are trying to find the best premium traffic only from the US. This allows you to guarantee it. So let's go on to languages. If for some reason a person wants French speaking because they only do business with French people because they can only speak French, then you can simply go down check French, and there you go. Just like that, this order will now only receive French traffic. Publishers, this is really useful for sectioning off traffic or segmenting traffic, right? So an order is usually set up for a network or a campaign offer for some topic, whether it be a online biz op or it's a health product. And when you structure your publisher section, you want it to be easy so that you can understand what that source is, right? So let's say publisher name really said something about a health product, so that was being advertised on Facebook, so this would say health Facebook source, and you could check that, so only that source is delivered to this order. It's incredible. It's so useful. So let's go to notifications. This is something I'll cover as far as creating and managing in the order messages section. But before we get there, notifications is a way to set what message a person receives. So you may be wondering what messages are or what purpose they serve. Again, I'll cover that later. But for the purpose of this video, if you need to change the types of messages that are being sent to a specific order, you can very easily click and say no, do not send, or yes, send. Very useful. Again, each order can be managed on all these fields. Pretty nice. So that concludes the orders section. Again, this will show up if you pause it in the pause section, so that anytime you need to pause an order because maybe the page is down or there's something wrong with the traffic that's coming to it, it's not the correct source, you can always pause it and traffic will be reverted to whatever is in the active section. Filled order is once something is complete, it will be displayed here. And that's it. One last thing to note, just as you can upload many advertisers with a CSV, you can do the exact same thing with this here. So if you have a lot of orders that maybe were on a merchant online and you're able to export them to an Excel, you can upload them with the click of a button. Searching is really functional because if you have someone's name, it will only show that name. Well, so this shows advertiser name 2. When we go here, it says there's nothing here. If you take this out, boom, it reappears. Really nice for when you're searching and managing individual orders. Traffic flow just lets you see the traffic that is coming in for a specific order. Simple statistics outlines the clicks that are outstanding, right? Which is really nice because you can track how many clicks total are still owed, right? So 100 here and 100 here. So far there have been 2 clicks, which means left we have 198 clicks to deliver. Now there are more detailed ways to track, but this is just a really easy way to make sure that traffic is flowing in to the right people, right? Advertiser got a click from this person, the time it was given. It will appear here at the time it's given. And simple statistics is an easy way to see the totals of how much is owed, today's clicks, etc. So this is really the most important section of ClickFlow. It gives the most utility and power, and it gives the most options for customizing in order to receive any type of traffic. And that's it. We'll cover statistics, order messages, and sites in the following videos. And again, if you have any questions, there should be an email below. Shoot us a question or a concern you have. Otherwise, looking forward to seeing you in the next video.